right by.
Attacked.
And then like an overcooked taco on the other side. It's disgusting. Gigantic mistake on the front, like nut-free on a walnut and cranberry crumble. If you examine the weet-bix as a thing, it's made for you to survive. You're listening to the Pepper and Me podcast, Around the Dinner Table with Cherie, Cam and Lorne, where we chat all things food and business.
Feels so foreign. It's been so long. All right. Welcome to Pepper and Me Around the Dinner Table. My name is Lorne and this is Cherie, and I don't have anything funny for you today.
Standard. You really peaked 2 weeks in on that one.
I really did, actually.
Yeah.
I
stitched yourself up.
Set the bar way too high.
You really did. Yeah.
And now
you've got nothing.
Got nothing.
As per.
Well, I mean, it's been a fairly full-on few weeks, to be fair.
It's not been that full on. It's just you're just overwhelmed because you've been sick, I think. And when you're sick, everything feels like 50 times harder.
And we've got a newborn baby, so like you add in like newborn life into feeling sick.
12 weeks though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been riding that one for a while.
I can still
we can probably move on from that now.
Still a baby.
Yeah.
Still not sleeping through the night. So
I'm pretty sure Kit was at preschool by 3 months old.
He actually wasn't far off, eh?
Yeah, I was like, yep, that's
out
me.
The window,
I've got things to do now. Off you go.
Does that explain some things, or like?
He's good. He's resilient. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway.
But no, we genuinely have had a lot go. Well, lots of stuff around here has been changing, which has caused a little bit of chaos. But we're getting to the end of it, and I reckon
we have had lots of changes, and then we've also had lots of COVID as well. So we've been probably 4 people down every day.
Yeah.
Which has been a lot.
And then we've had shows.
And shows, so every time we do a show, we lose 3 or 4 of our staff.
So like a Thursday, Friday, and a Monday normally.
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic. But yeah, lots to talk about anyway.
All right.
So I reckon we'll go back a couple of weeks. Well, I will, and then we'll
do it.
Yeah. So I've got Wellington food on my plate to catch up on. And I won't go on about it too much. I'll just do like a brief summary. But the standout for me was Fred's Sandoz, the sandwich shop.
Right.
Honestly, like
top notch, out the gate.
Out the gate.
Wow.
I saw them put up a sandwich yesterday on Instagram. Caramelised Brussels sprouts with miso caramel, mayo, parmesan and chili oil on like a soft buttered roll.
That'd be me.
I'm like, you've just made a Brussels sprout look like the most gangster thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
They are on point.
Yep.
I had a roast beef sandwich with caramelised onions, mayo, like soft buttered roll. Just, everything down to the roll being like warm and toasty, but not toasted.
Just like, a little bit toasty.
Just that sweet spot.
Yep.
You know garlic bread when they overcook it and it's just
it's
too
like
much.
It's
not,
like,
no god, it's no good.
Yeah.
It's the same garlic bread, just had 3 minutes too long in the oven.
Garlic bread like needs to like have the tiniest amount of crunch.
Yeah, tiniest amount. And then a soft fluffy interior.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, they absolutely nailed it. Fred's Sandoz, it wasn't expensive, I can't remember, but like, you know, it's not a fine dining place. You go and get your lunch. It was great. I went to August Eatery by myself, and best Turkish eggs I've ever had. And then the French toast had a macadamia crumble crust, poached quince, and an orange curd, and a big thing of like real thick yogurt, labneh. Insane. And yes, I got 2 dishes, and I told her, she's like, this is reasonable. I said, is this reasonable? And she's like, yeah, it's definitely a reasonable thing to do. So I had 2 breakfasts. And we went to Ortega Fish Shack. That's like a Wellington institution. Have you heard of them?
No.
It was good. It was good, but it wasn't.
Like a fish and chip shop, or no?
Nah, it's like it's not even really that seafood focused. It is seafood focused. I got a steak though. As you said, you have to the steak. Right. It's probably like steak for like just literally steak, shoestring fries, and Cafe de Paris butter on top. It was just me.
Really good.
Yeah, it had oysters were amazing. Sashimi was amazing. Everything was real good. Cool place to go. But my favourite is Ombra. That is my favourite restaurant in Wellington. We didn't get to Kisa, and it's got the same owner, and I would have literally had 200 messages saying, go to Kisa across the road.
Yeah.
It's just the best. But we couldn't get a booking, otherwise I would have gone there. So Ombra stands as my favourite. That would be my biggest recommendation.
So you went to Wellington to go to the food show just to eat all the food, right?
100%. That's why I do anything in my life.
How many hours did you work at the Wellington Food Show?
I actually did quite a lot of work.
Yeah?
You can ask the girls. I actually did a lot more work than I've done at a show in the last few years.
Okay,
Because
alright.
it was so busy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, I
Nice.
actually did a solid 2 days. And we sold heaps, and it was it was our first time having a presence in Wellington.
And they sold out of everything they took, didn't they?
Yeah. We did, yeah. It's really interesting being there and noting how different the crowds are
Yes.
and what they want from you as a supplier. And it's,
Especially if they know the name or have tried Pepper and Me stuff before versus brand new customer.
yeah, but then also just the demographic.
Right.
Like field days, you got the farmers.
Yes.
And predominantly farmers.
Yeah.
Whereas we always do we do the Malaysian chicken curry to sample because we make it with chicken thigh and we leave it in a slow cooker and it's just a really good flavour. And then we were like, right, gone to Bombay, there's your recipe card.
Done.
And it's an instant sell.
easy sell.
Usually it's an instant sell. Field days, no one has chicken.
No one cares.
Well, they don't have chicken.
Right.
They
'cause
want
they've
beef.
All got home cool in the freezer.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So it actually did cross my mind that, but I was like, nah, because they'll still be able to think, I can use that for a beef curry.
Yeah.
That's a really nice flavour, or nah, didn't sell. So we sold out of the Gone to Bombay first day at the Wellington show.
Yeah.
And they didn't even, they had
Hardly
it,
anything
yeah,
at the
from the
field
field days. So, and then Wellington, everyone who came out like, oh, just this huge amount of people, I've seen you on TikTok,
Yep.
haven't tried it before. Which is quite new for me because it's usually been always like, oh, I'll follow you on Instagram.
Yep.
And it's been this massive shift to everyone, I've seen you on TikTok,
Yep.
which is so interesting. And the girls tell me, but to hear it myself over and over and over and over again is quite powerful, I guess.
Well, I guess it just shows that, hey, your Snapchat at the start.
I know, that's true. And then
the sort of culture shift to Instagram was quite a big one.
Yeah.
Making the jump and being like, oh, I'm
Getting off
now
Snapchat,
now
yeah.
it's TikTok.
I know.
But then, interestingly, we have recently seen a huge spike in Instagram posts, haven't we? No, Facebook. Facebook posts.
Our Facebook posts
Way more engagement
have
than
been
ever
getting, we
before,
went through a
which is
phase
so
of
odd.
getting heaps of engagement. Yeah. Maybe that's also a demographic thing where like the Facebook demographic's a little bit older, a little bit more inclined to stop and read and comment.
True.
Whereas Instagram, where you're literally just scrolling.
And then TikTok is just views. Like you
And TikTok
hardly
is
even
just
look at
views.
likes
You don't
or
even gonna
anything.
like it, even if you like love it. You're like
views,
not.
views.
You know,
Yeah.
like you're so precious about your double tap. So yeah, really interesting. But I have been trying to. TikTok's very fickle. If anyone's listening and you enjoy the TikToks, then please like them, or or comment. It's actually really important because otherwise,
so wild. It's like 10,000 views, 200 views,
yeah,
10,000 views, 300 views.
like
It's so up and down.
100,000 views,
Yeah.
100 views.
Yeah.
And the ones that I really need to, or you want to go off,
Just don't.
just sometimes don't. Or the ones we put heaps of effort into sometimes don't. But then they're also interesting in TikTok, in which maybe the algorithm also pulls back real old posts and shows them to people sometimes.
I think it does, yeah.
Because I'll notice that there's like a real old post. So
going
currently it's
off.
the bacon egg pie. Everyone's like, that's a quiche.
Oh, right.
Because I do scrambled egg and whole egg. That's a quiche. There's 100 people going, that's a quiche. And I'm like, oh, God. It's actually not a quiche. There's whole eggs in there as well. And that's the best way to make a bacon egg pie, in my opinion. Because it's not all dry, hard, rubbery egg all through it.
Bacon egg quiche.
Yeah, whatever. But then, that's like from 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And that's all just now. So I don't know why. Anyway,
Who
tangent.
knows?
TikTok. I've got a funny story about TikTok.
Okay.
Tangent that I got on.
Oh, you went down a rabbit hole?
Yeah, I did. I maybe follow this page where it came up on the For You page, and it's interesting conversations with people, and they ask the people questions that most people wouldn't usually ask.
Okay.
So there's different series. So there was a series of people who'd been in prison, and they asked them questions. There was a series of people over 100, and they asked them questions like, "Do you still have sex?"
Right.
Like,
Right.
"Do you want to be alive?"
Yeah.
Like, how long do you want to live for? Or
Interesting.
like quite deep questions that most people wouldn't ask. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And then there's
would
like
get views.
transsexual people. There was Down syndrome people. There was
I've totally seen that. Yeah.
yeah. And once you start, and I'm like, this is so
It's captivating.
fascinating. Yeah, and they had one on intersex people,
Okay.
and I'd never heard of an intersex person.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like watched it, and they we say, what is intersex? Are you a hermaphrodite? And hermaphrodite's when you have both parts.
Right.
Intersex is when you don't really. It's like a scale because there's a whole like they could have
Yep. Part.
or like it's pretty much in between. So they could have like a tiny penis that looks like a giant clit
Right.
or something.
Right.
And then there's like so when they're born they get categorized as either a woman or a man.
But
depending, I think, and then they often change over or anything. But fascinating.
it's a whole go down.
So I went and watched the whole series, and now I'm an expert on intersex people,
Okay.
and most of my For You page is intersex and how they found out they were intersex.
Yeah.
And like, God, isn't it fascinating that TikTok can like open your eyes to that?
Absolutely.
It's quite good, eh?
But I guess that's how the algorithm works, right? Like people start watching it because other people find it interesting, and it just sort of amplifies it, and then all of a sudden it's showing up on everyone else's For You page. So
Yeah, very, very interesting. But TikTok's definitely opened my eyes. I like made a lot of things like really a lot more day to day than any other platform ever could.
when I first started watching TikTok, it was way more like the memes and then like the live streams of like people packing orders and all
Oh,
that
you
sort of
love
stuff,
that?
'cause I
Is it that
love
crystals? You were watching someone
they were
pack
like,
crystals.
Yeah, the crystals, and then like I've literally watched like people packing orders in Thailand and genuinely gone out and bought equipment to like replicate what they do, because I'm like, they just do it so fast and efficient. And
You love a
it's-
packing.
but now it's
video.
like, now for like the last 5 days, it's literally been me watching TikTok live streams of like experts talking about submarines, because of
Yes.
course this whole submersible
Yeah.
submarine
Yeah.
scenario going on at the moment, which is very sad. But now I'm an expert in submarines
Yeah.
and follow every TikTok submarine expert as well. So it
So
shows you how it can just like deviate your brain so quickly.
Do you ever watch the news?
Nah.
No, neither.
No.
Because people's like, why don't we even watch? Because she was questioning, because we don't have screens during the week, and she's like, Mum, that's not normal. Like I've talked to any of the other kids at school, they're allowed to, like their
the
mum and
news
dads
or
watch the
whatever.
news. And I'm like, well, that's very different from watching YouTube or Disney or whatever. And she's like, well, they watch MasterChef. I want to watch MasterChef.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
They don't even know what that sort of TV is, because I don't watch TV in the evenings. I watch TikTok.
Yep.
I go to bed and watch TikTok. So I'm like, well, you're not watching that.
Yeah.
So we try to put MasterChef on. And I was like, it's not on. She's like, no, it is. I'm like, no, that's not how normal
That's not
TV
how normal
works.
TV works. You can't skip the
You
ads.
can't just put it on. It's an absolutely foreign concept
Yep.
to them.
Yep.
So I guess the news coming through on TikTok platforms is quite good.
It's not really relevant for New Zealand though, because all of the sort of bigger, I don't think so anyway.
True.
It's mostly international stuff.
Yeah, you're
coming
not
through
getting
TikTok.
information about New Zealand politics or
No.
anything. Interesting. All right, that was a tangent.
Anyway, that was a tangent. I've been eating, the last thing that we cooked that was delicious was braised beef short rib and pumpkin paprika maple puree. It's an Al Brown recipe.
Oh, did you make it?
Yep.
Yum.
It was so good.
I love Al Brown.
It was, and we didn't even realize it was an Al Brown recipe until after I cooked it, and I went back to the website and I'm like, oh, Haley,
Where
did
was
you know
the
it was
website?
just on Pinterest.
Ah.
Haley just like sent me a screenshot off Pinterest, and then I went to Google it to like see something. Because the recipe was real odd. It was like cook the whole thing and then take it out and cool it down and then cut it up. And I'm like, I'm not cooling it down after I've just cooked it for 6 hours when I want to eat it. But I realized it was like obviously more of a restaurant-y kind of thing. If you were making it and prepping it for
'Cause
a restaurant,
you cut
would
it and
cut
then
it, cool it,
you
and then it would-
reheat your portions.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Yep.
sense. Yeah, and you get a nice cut on it as well.
Yes, and it would
Yeah.
be cleaner and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But it was so good. And I'd never cooked beef short rib like that, and I've only just got into it because of the barbecuing sort of stuff. So we had like these little off-cut sort of thinner parts that I was like, I could do this in a sort of a braised thing, and it was delicious.
Yum.
So good.
Yum.
That's my on a plate.
Yeah,
know if
well,
we
that
were there or
sounds
not,
great. That sounds really good. That's
Have you
a lot
cooked
of.
anything like that?
I have. Do you know when you cook something and then you get sick and you like never cook it again? I've got beef short rib and mac and cheese. I don't really eat mac and cheese.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't.
And beef short rib?
And beef short rib, and they were in the same meal, so
Why?
I ate them. I did like spent like all day cooking one day.
Yep.
American barbecue, did beef short rib,
Yep.
mac and cheese, and then we all got like horrific food, like not food poisoning. It was a bug,
Yep.
and ever since then, I've just found like the fattiness of it
It is so fatty.
quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I think that's why.
The braised was
I've been a bit better lately. I've been trying it again, but it was definitely one of those things I'd steer away from.
so
Till
good though.
I do. Well, I love watching the slow cook videos and beautiful red wine sauce and yum jus and like.
She was so good.
I actually
my
did. I
goodness.
do some in my new sous vide thing. Possibly did actually.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yep.
And my bag kept bursting and
Yep.
like we did eat them. Oh, they might have.
Did you make
might be
that
on
through the
bone,
pasta or a ragu or something?
Maybe. No, I think I did a short rib, but I
Who knows?
I had a bit of a muck around with the sous vide machine because I packed it all up from here and went home with my cuts of meat, but I'd like forgotten.
you'd left
I'd
the
forgotten
sous
one of
vide
the bits.
machine.
I think I left the sous vide machine, but I'd gone and like got all my meat ready. So I think I ended up chucking the short rib just into
A slow
a
cooker.
slow cooker or the crock pot or something like that.
it
There
was
was a muck around, and then everyone. I went and then I put the lamb. No, it was the lamb. I'd done the lamb, got the lamb ready, put the lamb in the oven, and then I'd gone to the pub and I just left my oven on. Do you ever do that?
No.
Oh, I do. I just left it on like 120, went to the pub, and anyway, accidentally got hammered. It was karaoke night. And then like
Next morning.
me, Campbell, it was a few of us, went back to my house, and Campbell's like, "Are you cooking a roast?" It was like 10:30 at night, and I completely forgot. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I am cooking a roast," and he's like, "Talk to me about the thought process here." And I was like, I'd got it ready 3 or 4 days ago. It needed to be cooked, bang in the oven anyway. Yeah, so I ended up having
sweet.
like short rib and lamb, and then we must have just eaten it in a bit of a. It wasn't like a proper sit down, make a fuss of it. It was
Yeah,
like
it was
I've cooked this, I
karaoke,
need
yep,
to,
yep.
you need to eat it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty funny anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have more show food stuff, or are we going to like trends or?
Oh, I just wanted to. I can't remember if I'd mentioned Daz's cooked TikTok about the pies. He makes pies.
I don't think we've mentioned it.
Yeah, because he
On
wants
here.
to come on the podcast, and I'd love to get him on the podcast.
Needs to.
But he's just every video of his I watch, amazing pies and just real good vibe.
Great the format,
Very, very Kiwi, and his business partner is Michelle, and she's Mint Cakery.
Right.
And they're both just really nailing life at the moment, so I'm really enjoying watching them. So as a bit of a follow, but I really would like
Need to get
them
them
down on the podcast. I've got a few things to cancel.
Oh.
Got anything to cancel?
I don't have anything to cancel, but it'll be interesting to hear because the trend that I've seen going around all over the place is the Big Mac taco, smash burgery taco.
Yes, so that's what I've written down to cancel.
Is that what you've written
Well,
down?
because we talked about it being a trend a few weeks ago. You might not have been here.
I don't think I was here because you made them.
I
didn't
made
you?
them.
Yep.
And it's absolutely horrible. And I'm actually...
Everyone's loving them.
I know, and it's taken off.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it would because you
Like had a little blip and
you
now it's even going
literally
again.
left with almost raw soggy beef on one side of your taco and then like an overcooked taco on the other side. It's disgusting. It's actually pissing me off.
I knew you would have an opinion
It's
on this.
really upsetting me. I'm like, cool, have your food trend. Everyone's like, oh, cool, I'll make it once. Not going to make it again.
Yeah.
People are selling them in restaurants. People are like
Oh.
absolutely frothing over them.
Because, like, I guess
maybe
you
I
could
need to
do it
make
if
it
you
again.
actually cooked it properly. Like, if you smashed it and then flipped it and then did the thing and, like,
Yeah, but
kind
what's
of.
the point?
Yeah, don't know.
I have seen people use a smash burger press and pressed it right down to get that real
Crispy,
thin.
thin, yep.
And that maybe is better, but it just doesn't need to be a thing. It's just make a normal. It doesn't. It's so annoying.
Good.
It's annoying.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
I'd just stop doing it.
Okay.
Oh, actually, can you just maybe people can just be honest and be like,
This was average.
on the other side of the beef, it was all grey and like not seared
Soggy,
properly, and then all the dripping from the beef went into the wrap and actually made that soggy too. And then the other side's pretty much burnt because I try to make sure that my mince is cooked through. Yeah. Anyway, okay, moving on. I have just noted down that weet-bix. Kit was eating weet-bix the other day, and Kit's like such a non-foodie that he just loves a weet-bix. And I just think it's the epitome of eating to survive rather than eating because you love it. Isn't it? A weet-bix?
I feel
Yeah, right,
personally
mate.
attacked.
You do, you eat a weet-bix, eh?
Every
You would.
morning.
You would.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally since I can remember.
I know.
Since I can remember.
Who, like, if you examine the weet-bix as a thing,
Yeah.
it's made for you to survive. It's got no flavour whatsoever. At all.
Yep.
It doesn't though.
Oh, yeah,
Aye.
it's not
What do
great.
you put on it?
Nothing. Nothing. Yep. Cold milk.
I reckon you can have two categories of people in this world: people who eat weet-bix and people who don't. And that will show. That would say it's so like Pippa would never eat a weet-bix. Pippa is currently demanding. She's like, no, I don't want toast. I need you to go and get me ciabatta buns. Which she really likes.
Yeah, and she only eats Lurpak butter.
Whereas
Don't give me margarine.
like a plain porridge or a plain weet-bix.
Kit will eat plain spaghetti noodles.
Yeah, and I'm like just looking at him, and he's just like mowing it down with such gusto, like that
plain noodles.
he would never eat a spag bowl like that. Like he would never eat anything else like that. And I'm like, oh, this is just
That's
so
so funny.
interesting. And food was made for us to survive. It's not like necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's just for me, I just like my entire life is food. My entire life is everything I do revolves around the love of food. Basically, it's all I think about. And
Because it's not that I don't like if I was
do
doing
love
like
good food.
making a mean like eggs benny and a hollandaise and stuff like that, I'd have that for breakfast. But if I'm getting up and I'm out the door, it's like literally takes me 15 seconds to eat a bowl of weet-bix.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that by like 10 o'clock, I'm feeling starving and absolutely no energy and gross. It's
Right.
literally become like almost a reflex.
So I kind of, I don't know, I just don't eat in the morning
Yeah.
if I don't have time, unless.
I don't know how people do that, eh? I don't.
Well,
I do not get the
I,
intermittent fasting kind of concept.
No,
It
I
just does not
definitely
work for
thrive
me.
off it, and when I have too much lunch here, I try not to have lunch here all the time because I actually just crash. Because I probably eat too heavy a meal, whereas I love eating like a heavy meal at any time after 3 or 4.
Yep. Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
So I guess everyone's body works in different ways, but I like a cup of coffee, black coffee will like easily go me through to midday.
Yep.
But
No.
but if I'm out, like I took Kid out before a school visit this morning, and it was 8 o'clock. I wasn't hungry, but I'm like,
Have a
oh,
snack
these
or
guys do a
something.
mean benny. I'm gonna have a benny. Shit, yeah, because it's like make me
Yeah.
happy, and you sit
Totally.
there and enjoy every second of it.
Yeah,
I
'cause
guess.
but it's because it's the eating the food thing. It's
Yeah,
not like my stomach.
it's not
needs
my
food.
stomach
Yeah,
needs.
see,
Yeah, I don't eat, and everyone's like, oh, like I'm so full, and I'm just like, I'll just keep eating. And that's
You're so
like-
full. Your first stomach or your second stomach?
And people are getting these like weight loss injections. Everyone's getting these injections. Oh, like it's this called Ozempic. It's this new weight loss drug. All my friends are
Okay.
talking about it, and it just makes you feel full.
Right.
And
Why
I've
would
got
you want
pills
that?
the same that do the same thing. It's like an appetite suppressant.
Yep. Yep.
And for me, I just still eat anyway, even though I'm not hungry. I'm like, this is not working for me.
I have no appetite, but that looks good.
No, I do. I'm like, oh, this might help. Just like maybe just slow my eating down a bit. And
No.
I'll literally eat because I want to eat.
Yep.
Because I like eating.
Yeah.
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 Which is real interesting. So I'll probably never ever lose weight.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my problem. If anyone's got a solution to that. Should you, like, this is that volume eating. Like, you can eat a lot of food if it's real low calorie. That comes up on my TikTok too.
right.
Like, how you can have, like, a bowl, say 250 grams of Greek yogurt and then, like, 6 cups of jelly through
Oh.
it. And
it's,
then
like, no calories,
and
but
some cup
high.
of frozen berries or whatever. And you literally got, like, 8 cups of dessert
yeah.
for 250 calories, which is, could be the same as 2 spoons of something
Chocolate
else. And he's
mousse or,
like, you
like,
can still
chocolate or
eat heaps. It's just, it's low calorie, so high volume eating, I think they call it. Anyway, I don't want to eat that either, so.
But is that like high fat? Like there has to be something.
Well, it's protein. It's high protein. The
Yeah,
yogurt's
so then
like
I guess
entirely protein. Like
yeah.
0% fat, high protein yogurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the berries for sweetness. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
What were we talking about? weet-bix. Yeah. Yeah. Cancel weet-bix. Food trend. So yours is the Big Mac tacos that we're cancelling.
Well, you can cancel that. I'm also wondering, have you seen Broke Boy Taco on TikTok?
Oh, yes.
So I reckon we need to go to Auckland and just
Yes.
try
I
that
was
as
actually
well.
going to say this to you. That's actually genius.
Yep. So
He is
clever.
actually genius, and he's got the Insta hype, which some people get that, and it's not. But birria tacos and ramen
Yep.
are a match made in heaven.
Yes.
When you think about it,
Yes.
it's a perfect match.
And in terms of like restaurant prepping and all of that sort of stuff, easy.
Easy,
Make like
yeah.
one mean like stock
Beef, yeah,
thing.
stocked for your pulled beef.
and you've like
Yeah, Yeah, so smart. So smart. He'll absolutely kill it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to go. And last pop-up he did, there was people lined up down the road for hours, and then he sold out, and they were all waiting in the line.
Doesn't
So
surprise me.
he does pop-ups. So there's no shop yet. I think he goes
Correct.
between
He
Ponsonby.
borrows like restaurants or something. I think I saw as well.
Yeah, he did.
Here.
He's been one at a Ponsonby Social Club, but then he must have done one out down south somewhere, and that was the one that like went just
Chaos.
insane. Yeah.
But no other trends or anything.
Have you seen everyone doing the ramen Korean? I don't know if it's Korean actually. It's this ramen packet, and there's different brands. There's all the different brands of ramen, and there's a pink one, and it's like carbonara flavour. And people have been making it with cream
No.
and like bacon in the ramen,
No.
and then they put like a runny egg and some furikake on top. It's quite an interesting fusion, because at first I was like, oh, that looks gross, but I love that about cultures, because there are some things like ramen's obviously very similar to pasta,
Well,
and it's just like this big fusion vibe. So it's
do
like
that
a
with-
creamy chili noodle.
could we do that with like hot potato and fish oil?
Yeah, definitely.
And,
just-
and poke me.
And poke me on top of like an egg.
That'd be
like pasta.
I would probably love that.
Yeah,
sounds
it
delicious.
doesn't look. I'm not mad on
You
noodles.
are you
but-
in you're not like, when was the last time you had 2-minute noodles or any kind of ramen noodles?
Nah, never. Nah, not for 10 years. But it's just not something I'll go out. Like when you go to Blueberries Inn. Oh, and there used to be. Do you remember that ramen place behind it? Yeah. In Auckland Central, they used to have like the best ramen noodles you'd ever try in your life. But I always used to get the pork belly bao buns.
Yep.
Like I love the pork belly bao
Instead of the
buns
ramen.
instead of the ramen. Yeah. Just noodles and rice. I'm probably not like mad on. Like I like them, but it's just I'd go a bread situation over a noodle or rice situation. Yeah.
But you love pasta,
I love pasta
but not a...
over. Yeah, I do love pasta.
Okay.
And lemon.
Did you get stuck down the rabbit hole on lemon talk?
Yeah. Have I talked about this? Or I don't
know if
know.
you've-
I did. I may have mentioned it last week. I'm still on it. I'm still on the lemon talk. They make these little like white cookies, and then you coat them in some sort of powdery, like cornstarch or icing sugar.
Cornstarch and icing.
Yeah, and then you push your thumb in the middle, and then put lemon curd in it, and it's like a crackle cookie with a lemon curd centre. Yeah, they look real cool.
That'd be yum.
Yeah, I'm just on lemon talk, and then I'm just enjoying it.
But that's just watching. You don't do baking.
I tried to do that lemon tiramisu, and I don't know. It was all right. It had
tasted okay.
had the bones of. It just looked like a trifle, which is not a vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I do like trifle's vibe. It has its place and time.
We made with that braised beef short rib. We made tiramisu. Reminded me of it. What's the one with the sugar on top that you blowtorch?
Brulee. Yeah, creme brulee.
We made espresso creme brulee.
Oh, yum.
And that was so yum. And Hayley made it, so credit to her. But she said it was super easy.
Brulee
Like,
is
super easy.
Not hard. It's just the cooking. If you just got to get the oven temperature right.
Yeah.
To make it's actually quite easy. Did
So-
you guys have mates for dinner or something?
Nah.
Right. This is not like you.
We had a date night.
What did you at home?
At home, because it was Saturday. We were all feeling like crap. And we weren't going to get out of the house because we're just stuck at home. What should we do? And then Hayley was just like, let's just like cook heaps of yum food. So that's what we did. So we had a date night.
That's nice.
Managed to get both the kids asleep at like 6 o'clock or something ridiculous, and ate lots of yum food. Actually, no, we didn't eat till 8 o'clock. So yep.
Funny. Heart Eyes gone vegan for a month,
Oh,
and he's not drinking.
oh,
Yeah, he's doing this like big cleanse,
oh.
and it's only day 5.
So is that the end of your relationship?
Well, I'm trying to be supportive, but then also I'm like, I'm not eating that. So I'm like, I might just like get McDonald's on my way around. Nah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. It just really shows you like when your hobbies all centre around food or drink.
Yep.
When you cut both out at the same time, there's like
do you
nothing
do?
left to do. If it was summer, we'd be down the beach and walking, and like I go the mountain. Like I in summer I could absolutely do.
Lots of
Like
stuff
I
that
often
get
do no
distraction
drinking.
from
I
food,
often do no drinking, and I am 100% fine with it.
Yeah.
but then I'm like usually eating, and then if I'm like trying to eat it, do like a super healthy buzz for a few weeks,
You're
then
drinking.
like, well,
No.
I can't do both. I'm struggle with both at the same time. But in the winter when it's raining every day, there's just nothing
do?
to do.
Yep. Watch
There's
TikTok.
absolutely nothing to do.
Learn about submarines.
Yeah, get a hobby, I guess. I don't know.
Do you have a hobby?
Yeah, food.
Food.
I've tried hobbies, I guess, throughout the years. I like have this love-hate relationship because I've been trying to go to the gym, and like I got there's a personal trainer at the gym, and I was like, cool, I'll do like a lesson or two with him a week, and that'll force me to go, and then I'll go other days by myself. I've not gone once when I've not had an appointment with him because there's no reason to go. And then he messaged me the other night, and I'm like always calling like, well, I have had sick kids, or I forgot the other day, and he's like, are you coming this week? I was like, I'm not going to make up an excuse. I actually just don't want to come.
At least you're honest.
I was like, do you know, I actually just want to eat. He's like, fair enough. He's like, if I could make food like you, I'd probably just eat too. And I was like, I just wish I had some form of motivation to like exercise a bit more, or have like a healthier hobby, or like do something else. But there's nothing really pressing me to do that.
We should both, me and you, should do like a 10K run or something.
We should.
That'd be
We
pretty
should.
hilarious.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, I reckon I could I'd get behind like some sort of challenge, or like you need like a
Because
group,
that's what you
or
need. You need.
I just
you
need
need
a pushing. I don't really do anything unless I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, except eating. But even at work, like I'll just like chill until I'm like, oh,
Better do something.
Better do something because there's no money in the bank. And then I like kick into get
All of a
action. I'm like, I can actually achieve a lot when I have to.
I've had to explain that to a few people in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, why?
That sometimes Cherie gets in these rampage modes.
Yeah, there's no money in the
I'm
bank.
like sending a message, and I'm like, yeah, she's on a rampage. Like, let's just give her 2 weeks, and then we'll tidy up the mess. It's okay. I enjoy it because lots of stuff happens.
Yeah,
but
everything
there will
gets,
be a mess
the
to
whole
clean up.
year's worth of changes done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, most of it is self-inflicted on us, though. We've made some mistakes. Which
We
is
have
fine,
made some mistakes.
and that's okay.
I think we just rush some things.
I don't know if it's rushed. I think it's there's lots of stuff. I guess saying that it's rushed is one way, but it's like we can't push pause for long enough to fully evaluate how things are going to play out. So we just start doing them. We don't rush them, but we just start doing them.
We have a tendency to want to please everyone. So we'll come up with a new product. We'll be like, cool, let's try it out. Make three. You know what we used to do, and we always had the power to do this, is like make 300, sell them online.
Yep.
And that's how testing it, and then we pick up anything we need to change, or like we get, it's ages before we're getting printed packaging or anything like that. And we used to do small runs, so we're only getting 100 labels for a jar, rather than like being like,
6,000.
okay, this is a good product. We want to release it to the wholesalers because we want to keep them happy. We want them to be able to sell it at the same time as us. We want it to go in supermarkets. We want it to, and then we send the packaging off, and then there's bloody gigantic mistake on the front, like nut-free on a walnut and cranberry crumble.
Yep.
And then, like, I used to not get frustrated with Cam, but every day, everything he did, there'd be email for me to check it. But then the email goes to Shay, Amy, you, me.
Everyone else.
Everyone. So there's 5 people who are supposed to check it.
And then everyone goes, oh, everyone else will do
clearly
it.
everyone else has been like, oh, someone else will, or I'll probably scan over the blurb, or like, and it's no one's like job to
tick the box.
Yep. And then even that pamphlet, like, how did that pamphlet happen?
We've sent it, and we probably gave out like 500 at a show or something, and it was literally.
Oh, no one's messaged about it, eh?
No, it's like the correct ingredients and then completely wrong instructions.
Someone's like copied and pasted the text from a completely different recipe onto the instructions, onto the ingredients of a different recipe.
Yeah,
so it's like,
pretty
drain
funny.
your pasta. I was like, this is a soup recipe. We give me them out at all the shows. Like, there's that right there. Absolute muppets.
But I mean, it shows that we're real people just trying to do stuff.
Oh, and we don't get shitty about it. Like, we don't really, we're like, nah, not the end of the world. But it is just, there's just like constant.
The issue is we're at the size now where mistakes like that are more expensive because we're
We've
trying
gone and
to do
got
stuff at
10,000
volume.
printed, yeah.
You know, back 2 years ago when we were printing a pamphlet, we might go, oh yeah, let's get 500 printed and see how
Yeah.
they go. And now it's just like, cool, $5,000, 5,000,
Yeah.
5,000 pamphlets, go.
Yeah.
And then there's a mistake.
Oh, or I haven't checked the recipes and I'm like, oh, that's not even really appealing. Like, it's time to really like think decisions through. And then obviously there's things you don't really know till you've
Done them.
done them and looked at them, like our Italian stallion, because Italian stallion's so light.
Yeah, fluffy.
We've got a 100-gram bag, which is quite a big bag, and you have to, bloody hell, you have to like backpack it to get it in there. The packet is exploding at 100 grams. You're getting so much, and that's going to look ridiculous on the shelf. And we ordered the packaging in one massive lot, so we probably got 20,000 of each or something. Ish. Yeah, too many. And then new products are all good. I mean, they're all actually really good. And that's the thing, that every day there's a reason to keep the products. And everyone's coming to me like, oh, why don't we do this? Why don't we do it this way? Why don't we do it this way? And I'm like, we just can't. Like, our turnover is the same, if not less than last year. Yet our wage bill is up a third, and our expenses are well and truly up. So that's because we're holding the money in stock. Which is, I guess, what you can say to me, which is I'm like, where is the money? And you're like, here's the money. It's in stock. And it's because we've got an extra, say, 30 SKUs on last year that we're holding ingredients, packaging, and things to make. So when we were like, right, how do we move forward? The only option
Cut them.
is to dial back to what we do really, really well. Focus on that.
But I think we still need that room for experimentation, and that's where we just have to do it differently. We have to go back to the old school way of doing things 3 years ago, where it was like, okay, we're going to test it, but we're going to test it with 300 units. It's going to be generic packaging. It's not going to go to wholesalers. We'll test it. We'll make sure it's awesome. And then maybe in 6 months, we'll actually release it.
Yeah. So we need the power to be able to stick a sticker on it and sell out. And that's not a bad thing.
No, if we sell out in this market,
a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, because what we've been doing, rather than being like, oh, we'll do 300, we're like, oh, put it through the machine, we end up with 2,000.
And that'll be enough for 6 months.
Yeah, and I can't promote them all at the same time. I can really only do recipes or content for one product a day. So you can't do everything. It's like, it's crazy. And then there's some that are kind of similar products, but then they all have their own place. Like Dude Ranch, our ranch dip, and then Anya, our onion dip mix, are interchangeable, but they do have a very different flavour. Like one's a ranch flavour, one's an onion flavour.
And
but
then like
could you
Anya
use
versus
it?
Blues.
Could you use it to make a dip? Yes. Could you use it to make a creamy chicken pie? Yes. Could you use it in a soup? Yes.
I think that's where maybe a lot of our audience aren't as like creative. Maybe like a lot of them are like baking chefs that follow a recipe to the letter, and they want to taste exactly what you're tasting. They're not happy with, oh, I've got Anya, you use Dude, it'll be close enough.
Yeah, that is how I cook, but that's also the purpose of Pepper and Me.
Yeah,
it's not to sell, for you to have 50 products you're not using in your cupboard. The purpose of Pepper and Me is to provide a core range of which you can create
lots of different ways
a load of different products, so you're not sitting there with products in the pantry, and that's where everyone else gets distracted because they're like, this is great, like this will sell, this will make money, and like it's not wrong, nothing's wrong, none of the products aren't great, it's just that's not our purpose. And we need to stick with our purpose. And lots of things like, I don't know, so meal bags, for example, most of the meal bags have a Pepper and Me seasoning as the flavouring. People still want to buy the meal bag because they want the convenience. Like someone messaged and said, I don't care that I can make it at home. I want to buy it off you because I want the convenience of doing it. But it's like, I don't know, what's the pasta, one of the mac and cheese one's got blow my coals in it. It's got the pasta in it, it's got some other
other stuff. In
other
it.
onion, garlic, bit of what, blah, blah, blah.
Milk powder.
But like I can give you the recipe to make that at home using your Blow My Coals. So you're like, cool, I've got this jar of Blow My Coals here. Here's just another thing I can do with it.
Yeah.
If you don't have time to make your meal bags, maybe you just pick an afternoon and you make up 15 to have sitting in
bags,
your cupboard.
Yeah.
You know, so like that just all draws back into that core game of what we do of like providing a season that can have 50,000 uses.
Yeah.
And that's why we're different from everyone else who is doing a beef rub, a pork rub, a chicken rub, a seafood salt, like a literal like beef cheek rub or...
It'll be interesting because I guess we're trying to take a little bit of a different stance there, but I mean, you look at big companies like Maggi that have been around for how many years? What do they do?
Making a minced chow mein single
Chow
sachet.
mein, single sachet, taco single
Yeah.
sachet. What's different? They're probably exactly the same. Or
No,
very
they
close
are.
to
Yeah,
exactly
they are
the
the
same,
same.
but they sell.
They do sell, but that's I guess, why we're better. That's why we're better than them. We don't want to be Maggi, do we?
Hey, we might be better than them, but will we survive? Will we get sales?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think we do, because if you can buy something, a jar of something, and know that you can make 20 different things with it comfortably, then you're going to be more inclined.
But that's why like HelloFresh and stuff sells, because it takes the thought process out.
Yeah, but this is just fascinating because Ella gave me her HelloFresh last week.
Yeah.
And I bought it. She accidentally ordered two, whatever. So I got it for $100, and it was for 2 adults. And I was like, perfect, that'll do me and the kids. So that works out at $33 for 2 portions. So $16.50 a portion for an adult. For like half a chicken breast, a bit of slaw, and like something else.
Roast potatoes or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad, but I could have made that portion, or I've been doing this new series.
$20.
I could do that for $2.50 a portion, or I can give you a recipe to make a meal for well under $5 to feed someone using our products. So that was quite an interesting learning.
It's
and
the
there
thought
is
that you're paying for the convenience of not having to think.
Yep.
You get a bag, you get like 6 steps, and like.
But what are we in now? A recession. So
So are people going to stop paying for convenience?
are they going to stop paying for convenience? I would hope that convenience is the first thing they stop paying for. Because
Good
you're going to
quality.
save a huge amount of money
Yeah.
to give it a little
Think
bit
a
more
little bit
time.
harder.
And the HelloCresh meals aren't that fast to make. You still got to cook the chicken and
it's
cook
still
the
like 45
vegetables.
minutes,
It's
50
exactly the
minutes,
same as the meal you're going to make from the recipes I give you. And I make them very specific. I try and do 1 pot or 2 pots. And if it's not, I'll change it to be 1 or 2 pots.
Easy, yeah.
And I make sure that the ingredients are literally the most accessible ingredients you can. But I like, so every once in a while I'll go and find something cool ingredient, but most of the time I'm going to the same supermarket as you and being aware of the cost. And I'm trying to that's where I'm steering my content at the moment to try and like be like, right, through this recession, Pepper Me is going to have your back. And a few people have actually said I haven't been factoring the Pepper Me into the recipes.
In terms of the cost?
In terms of the cost, which is fair. But if you're using a teaspoon of man rub, it's literally like 20 cents.
Yeah.
So I'll start factoring it in because it's actually not going to be not beneficial to us. It'll be more beneficial to be like, you may as well use that. I actually picked up, they had a sale on at Pack and Save the other day. You walk in and they had all the Greg's spice boxes.
Oh, yes.
And they were $2.99. $2.99 for a mixed herb.
15 grams or something?
Yes.
20 grams?
In the box. I think it was, 20 grams in the box. And I was like, our Italian Stallion is actually cheaper than the Greg's mixed herbs.
And because you buy it in 100 grams?
Because you're buying it in 100 gram. Or even a 60 gram. Our bag of 60 gram is what, $9?
I thought it was cheaper.
Cheaper.
Maybe?
$8 for 60 gram. And theirs was, say, 20 grams for $3.
Yeah.
Quick math.
Close. Very comparable.
It
ours
is.
probably is.
It
better 'cause
is.
it's,
And ours has the sea salt, flake the onion and garlic powder in it as well. So it's not necessarily that we've got this like super expensive. Some of them are. The paste, you're going to use a third of the jar and your jar's $12. But that's your meal base. That's as well as your spice. That's your ginger, garlic, lemon, tomato, oil. So there's all those other things in that $3. So it's not an excessive cost. So maybe, I'll start adding the pepper and meat price on that. It's I was just looking at the pepper meat and the oil as your pantry staples.
Yep.
And also I couldn't be bothered weighing how much I was using of the product, working it out.
Nice.
Anyway, okay.
Can I have your phone to call someone who's used the discount code? As usual, this podcast is sponsored by Pepper and Me. Use the code SherieSucks for 10% off your order and go into the draw to win your order refunded back to you when we randomly decide to record and do it. And the last person that's ordered using the discount code was Bree.
Was that today?
I think it was yesterday.
Did she get a mystery box?
She did, and some other stuff because it didn't. The discount code didn't work on the mystery box.
Oh, didn't it?
No. So nice work, Bree. And if you don't answer, we'll leave you a message. Oh, can't even leave you a message.
That's weird.
That is random. Oh well, Bree, we'll send you an email and refund your order. Cherie Sucks, 10% off.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yep, that's
We're done?
Yep, we're
That's
done.
a decent podcast.
Thanks for catching up, everyone.
Yeah, sorry that we've been so useless on all of the podcasts.
Well, I
and
told
Friday
Lorne,
shows.
I was like, I'm not going to bother doing a podcast with you if you're not going to bring something to the table. So good to see you bring something to the table today.
All right, catch you guys next week.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Pepper and Me podcast, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the products that we're talking about, you'll find us at pepperandme.co.nz.